عقب دعوة قدمتها لجنة العلاقات الخارجية للكونغرس الأمريكي، شاركت السيدة مريم رجوي جلسة استماع عقدت بعد ظهر الأربعاء 29 من نيسان إبريل عام 2015 في الكونغرس. وانعقدت جلسة الاستماع في الاجتماع الرسمي للإرهاب وحظر أسلحة الدمار الشامل برئاسة القاضي تيتبو وبمشاركة أعضاء الكونغرس من الحزبين ومختلف اللجان بالكونغرس. وشاركت السيدة رجوي الجلسة على الهواء مباشرة عبر الفيديو من مقر إقامتها في العاصمة الفرنسية باريس. وبعدما قدمت السيدة رجوي بيانها، أجابت على أسئلة وجهها لها رئيس الاجتماع ونواب الكونغرس. فيما يلي نسترعي انتباهكم إلى كلمة للسيدة مريم رجوي.
I think we have the electronics working, and Madam Rajavi, we welcome you to the Subcommittee on Terrorism, Nonproliferation, and Trade. And the subcommittee is ready to hear your testimony.
Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member, distinguished members of the committee, thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about this issue. Today, Islamic fundamentalism and extremism under the name of ISIS or Shiite paramilitary groups have turned into a global threat. Islamic fundamentalism emerged as a threat to peace and security when Khomeini stole the leadership of a popular revolution in 1979 and established a religious dictatorship. The Iranian regime has served as the main source of this ominous phenomenon in the region and across the world. The primary objective of Islamic fundamentalists, including ISIS, is to establish an Islamic caliphate and enforce Sharia law. They recognize no borders. Aggressiveness and violence are two common features of Sunni and Shiite extremists. As such, searching for moderates among them is an illusion. In 1993, we published a book, Islamic Fundamentalism, the New Global Threat, warning about this threat and identifying its epicenter in Tehran. We said the mullahs sought to obtain nuclear weapons, to export fundamentalism, and guarantee their own existence. Unfortunately, little, if anything, was done to prevent the export of fundamentalism. Experience shows that in the absence of a firm policy vis-à-vis Tehran regime, there will be destructive consequences. Unfortunately, failure to stop the Iranian regime's post-2003 meddling in Iraq, which led to occupy that country and further spreading fundamentalism. Similarly, crimes committed by Bashar Assad in Syria and the massacre and exclusion of Sunnis in Iraq by Maliki, coupled with Western silence, empowered ISIS. I emphasize that the mullahs regime is not part of any solution to current crisis. It is indeed the heart of the problem. The people of Iran indeed call the mullahs regime as godfather of ISIS and other fundamentalist groups. The ultimate solution to this problem is regime change by the Iranian people and resistance. This regime is extremely fragile. As evident during the 2009 uprising, the overwhelming majority of the Iranian people demanded regime change. The regime's show of force is hollow and a result of weak Western policy. Owing to the pivotal role of the People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran as a democratic Muslim movement, the Iranian resistance has established itself the antithesis to Islamic fundamentalism. We believe in separation of religion and state, gender equality, respect for rights of religious and ethnic minorities, a democratic and non-nuclear Iran. The following practical steps are necessary to achieve this goal. 1. Expel the Quds force from Iraq and end the Iranian regime's influence in that country. 2. Enable full participation of Sunnis in power sharing and arm Sunni tribes to provide security for their communities. 3. Assist Syria's moderate opposition and people to end Assad's regime and establish democracy in that country. 4. Recognize the Iranian people's aspirations to overthrow the mullahs and ending inaction vis-à-vis the gross human rights violations in Iran. 5. Provide protection for and uphold the rights of members of Iran's organized opposition, the PMOI, in Camp Liberty in Iraq. 6. Empower the true democratic and tolerant Islam to counter fundamentalist interpretations of this religion. And 7. Block all pathways for the mullah's regime to acquire nuclear weapons. But let me finish by a quote from America's first president, George Washington. The harder the conflict, the greater the triumph. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Rajavi. We will have questions for you momentarily.